much for joining me on my very first live YouTube. I'm nervous, can you tell? I hope that you can hear me. If you wouldn't mind, please introduce yourself and tell me where you're joining from so that I can see where everyone is coming from. So, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Feline Wells, and this is your catalyst to grow. For most of my life, I've had a lot of crazy experiences, and all of those experiences kind of helped become that catalyst that developed this framework I called Grow, that I mentor and live by. But out of all of my experiences, there were two that really stood out to me and that were that changed the course of my life and shaped me to become the person that I am today. And they so happened to be on, oh sweet, my husband is on, my sister's on, that's cool. At least I'm not talking into the void. So both of those experiences happened to be on August 9th today, which is so crazy. So the first one was, let me back up. Let me just check in with my fear here because the feelings I'm having are unfamiliar. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Anyways. Okay. So real quick, August 9th was the day that I told fear that I got this. And I just allowed myself to let my intuition lead, which is what I'm trying to do today. So I'm actually living my Grow framework as we speak. I don't know why I'm so nervous because, I've done this before on YouTube, but it's just the whole putting yourself out there. It feels crazy. You should try it. Thanks, Christy. Okay, back to my experiences. Let's not get off track. So 25 years ago today, I decided to take a courageous leap, and I left my toxic relationship, and I moved in with my friend at the time, Kyle, which is now my husband, which is on the chat. But during that time, before I left him, I was so overwhelmed by my fear. I was stuck, and I had just bought a house with this guy, and I had dogs, I had built a life with him, and I was freaking out because I didn't want to stay. But fear told me, you don't have any money, you don't have anyone that can really help you leave, so you have to stay. But something inside of me just told me, no, I have to go. And so I took that leap on August 9th. I called Kyle, he came and got me, and I told him, look, this is just going to be temporary. Obviously, we got married, so that didn't really end up being temporary. But it was crazy because after I left him, pretty much shortly after I left him, I got laid off from my job. I then foreclosed on my house. Everything seemed to fall apart around me, but it was so liberating because I was no longer under the grip of fear. And I was finally listening to that inner voice that says, you got this. And so I was happy. Even though on the outside, I looked like a total mess. Maybe how I look right now, I don't know. But anyways, so after that experience, I realized something, that even when you feel afraid, you can still do it, afraid. Another thing it taught me is how much it built confidence in me. And that being stuck is always a choice. You don't have to remain stuck. It's just that your fear is convincing you otherwise. I'm just reading everybody's. Oh, sweet. Hi, Lori. I haven't seen you or heard from you in a million years. It's awesome. Thank you so much for joining and helping support me in this first live video and practice, because that's literally what it is, and that's kind of what life is in general, is a practice. So back to, I digress because it's live, and although I did practice, it's still, before this, it's still new feelings. And I keep telling myself, the feeling that I'm feeling is unfamiliar, but I'm safe. So that's what you have to do when your amygdala alerts you that you're feeling afraid. You have to just tell yourself, this is unfamiliar, but I'm safe, and I got this, like you guys are doing for me. Okay, so, thank you. Oh, thanks, Jen. All right, let's see, what else? Okay, so then that experience taught me that. 4 years ago, on this day, there was another crazy big leap that both my husband and I experienced. And that was in 2021, we decided that, we built these 3 businesses from the ground up. I was running a hair salon, and my husband was running a cafe and a coffee shop and a cafe. And we had just survived through COVID. It was like one of the hardest experiences in our businesses that we had. And so we were finally getting out of that, and our businesses were starting to thrive. And I was incredibly proud of the empire that we were building, of sustainable and ethical businesses. But I just felt like I was stuck. I felt completely tired of working to live, and both of us kind of felt like we forgot how to live because we were constantly on the hamster wheel of working. And so, I remembered from that lesson 25 years ago, and that being stuck is a choice. We don't have to keep doing this. It was funny because on the outside, it looked like we had everything that we wanted. Like, why would we change anything? We finally had our businesses where we wanted them to be. Our culture, the employees that I dreamt of, like everybody. Our house, we spent so much time renovating, making it what it was. And on the outside, it looked like we had it all. But on the inside, I was kind of feeling this like internal pull that it's not really the life that I want to live anymore. So, being stuck doesn't always mean that you're unhappy. It kind of means that, to me anyways, it means that there's this internal pull that you need to listen to, and that sometimes it's hard to hear because fear is controlling you and your choices. Like, it's got its grip on you. And so it's important to pay attention to that feeling and remember that being stuck is a choice. So with that, Kyle then presented the question of, what are we doing this all for? And when he said that, it just really made me want to pause and think about what else is there, and being open to that possibility of having a different life, one that is sort of in alignment with who we were and who we are now was just exciting to imagine something different. And so we decided a year later that we were going to sell everything. So we worked hard to sell everything and pack up our cats and move to Spain, which is where I'm streaming from now. And, that experience really taught me something valuable of don't always trust your fears. Instead, explore them. Don't be stopped by them. Another thing it really taught us was to be open to the possibility of something that you don't even know what's out there yet for you. And you have to put in the work and take action towards what you want in life. You can't just manifest it by doing nothing. So I guess I want to say, always listen to that voice, because once we listen to our inner voice, it's empowering. It puts the choice back in our hands and allows our intuition to lead instead of our fears. So here I am, trying to let my intuition lead. And it's August 9th. There must be a significance to August 9th. I don't know, I have to look it up. But for the past 3 years, I've been working on a mentor program. And it's really funny because I've always had this sort of calling for helping people to feel seen and to show them their potential and help them have the courage to go for what they thought was impossible. But I would get so close to launching, and then I would just allow fear to take over. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. That's fear crying, not me. Let me just pause and tell you. I didn't want to cry, but I'm an empath. So, I have to tell you that growth is fucking hard because you are constantly fighting the stories that you have in your head about not being good enough, about not being brave enough. And I hate when people allow themselves to not push forward, because it's so important to show the world your gifts and not allow yourself to stay small. I can't believe I'm crying on live. Holy shit. Oh God, that's so embarrassing. Whatever. Okay, back to this. Let me just take a breath. At least this is not my TED Talk. Okay, as I'm falling apart. Okay, let me just read the notes for a minute as I'm falling apart. Whew, okay. So, what if your inner voice tells you not to swim in the ocean with sharks? See, that's another thing, and that is a learned condition, and that is also humor. So thank you, Christy, for providing that humor while the fear was overtaking me. Whew, look at that. I fucking survived. And that is what it takes to grow. And that is my grow framework in a nutshell. Okay, let's get back to this. So, here we are on August 9th, where, I'm pushing myself to grow. And I think that all of you guys that are joining also want to grow. So let's get to it. First, I want to ask you, now that I've released and have been authentic and went through my whole fit of fear, I want to ask you, what part of your current situation feels familiar or safe, even if it no longer feels good? So think about, in this moment, what are you settling for? Because you don't want to move forward because fear has got its grip on you. Thanks. Growth is an ass kicker. Yes, it is. Okay, so please, in the chat, put what in this current moment, what in this moment are you holding back from doing? Because fear has got its grip on you. Yes, resting and nesting. Fear's got its grip on me, but hey, look, I'm bawling on live, and that is what authenticity looks like. Okay. First, I do want to go through, ooh, look at that. First, I do want to go through something before we begin. Something that I want to make sure all of you guys know, that this is not therapy. This is a personal growth kind of experience that helps you become aware of your thoughts that have been holding you back and hopefully provide you with the tools to take courageous action towards what you want, to live a more aligned life. And also, you don't have to share everything in my mentor program. Only the things that you feel safe and that you want to share. So it's definitely not therapy. I am not a therapist. Another thing that it is not is it's not a quick fix. There is nothing about personal growth that is fast. It all unfolds the way it will. Okay. So I came up with this philosophy because especially since moving to Spain, we are big gardeners and we're constantly growing, and Kyle is like super passionate about growing seeds. And I always find that really inspiring because I look out there and I just see dirt, and he's planted this little seed way below the dirt. And I thought, it's amazing when all of a sudden you see a little leaf emerge. And thinking about how we grow and our strength and how you don't know what's growing below the surface. So I came up with this philosophy or this metaphor for my grow framework, which is your intuition is like a seed that's planted by an idea and it's buried beneath the soil of your fear. When we meet our fear with awareness and nurture that seed with courage, we begin to grow into the person that we were always meant to become. So anytime you present an idea or a change or anything like that that feels unfamiliar, even if it benefits you, it alerts your system, your fear system, that this is unknown territory and it's a threat. And then you have to find the courage to continue to grow through that fear. Thank you, Christy. So this is a simple 4-stage framework. It's simple to remember, but it's not simple to do, because growth, as you just experienced earlier by my hot mess, that growth is very hard. And I am also, even though I'm helping guide you on this journey, I'm still part of this human experience, and growth is messy. So there's 4 stages of growth, and in this group experience, there's going to be 3 modules per stage. We start with grounded awareness, and the first module is basically assessing your soil. Because when we think about, a little seedling, it's not going to grow healthy roots in a soil that's not healthy. So if you think about your internal environment and everything on the outside, is it supporting what you want to be and where you want to go? So looking at your thoughts, your stories, all the things that you have told, fear has told you that's kind of held you back. And understanding, is it helping your growth or is it hurting your growth? Another thing is, the other module is having radical self-acceptance. So as you're starting to assess your soil and you start to expose some of these things that have been dormant for a long time and are now coming to the surface, you can start to feel sort of, shame or guilt or disappointed in yourself. And the thing is being able to kind of be your best cheerleader, and that says like, you're doing a great job and I'm so proud of you, and really showing up for yourself in a way that is embracing who you are and who the journey that you're going to. So that's what those two modules are. The last one is going to be mending your soil. And that's where you're going to completely rewrite some of these stories that fear has presented to you. So things like I was just saying earlier, like the story of feeling like, oh God, I'm not good enough. How can you rewrite that to say, I'm good enough just because I exist? Those kinds of things are so powerful, because if we can retrain our fear, then it doesn't alert you every time you want to grow and do something different. So then in the next module is going to be, or the next stage is the relationship with fear. So I find that if I don't know something, I want to learn all about it so that I can be better equipped to knowing how to handle it. And so that goes into the relationship with fear, understanding how fear shows up in our minds and in our bodies, and so that we can sort of have a better kind of coexist with one another. Because the thing that I always don't like when I'm reading about personal growth is to be fearless. There's no such thing as being fearless. Like, you're always going to move with fear. It's just learning how to retrain fear and sort of like explore it and treat it more like information instead of just making you stop in your tracks and not moving forward. Again, that's not something that anyone wants. It sucks to feel stuck and not move forward. After we start to retrain our fear and develop a relationship with it, then we're going to become open to possibility. When I was going through the kind of year of selling our businesses and our house and all of these things, there were a lot of stories that fear was telling me. Like some pretty ridiculous stories. Like I think of now, one of the stories was they're not going to have the right type of makeup there in Spain, or they're not going to have the skincare I like. Like, that's so stupid when I look at it now. Things like, the cats are going to be traumatized for life bringing them on the plane, Like, I think the best way to be open to possibility is start to kind of expand your imagination and think about all the different ways that you can, and the different paths that you can go on in your life, and not just what you're doing right now in this moment. So in that stage, there will be modules where we nurture your imagination and different activities to help kind of inspire you to think out of the box and to reimagine things that are possible for yourself. The last stage which I feel like I'm going maybe too fast. How's everyone doing? I hope that everyone is enjoying this. Can you just let me know how you're enjoying this in the chat? Kyle, did you tune out or are you still watching? Okay. So, thank you. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so part of something that I did not cover in the relationship with fear, because I was just breezing on by, but something that I think is really important, that is one of the modules. Thanks. So one of the modules is building emotional awareness. So starting to track emotional patterns that you experience when fear is present, so that you can start to understand, oh, when I feel this tightness in my chest, that must mean that fear is present, instead of allowing it to sit dormant and wait for the perfect opportunity when you're vulnerable to just come crashing down and control your life. So tracking your emotional patterns around fear is really helpful to getting on top of it. Okay. Back to open to possibility. Thank you, Lori. So one of the things that I think I was saying during that year, and all of that stuff was happening, and I had all these balls in the air, and we were selling the house and doing all this stuff, trying to get our visas. I kept telling myself as a mantra, I am open to the possibilities and opportunities unknown, and kept telling myself that over and over and over again, because all of that was new territory. It was completely scary, and we survived and love it here. And I think about, man, if we both would have just allowed that fear to overtake us, imagine, like, we wouldn't be here today celebrating 25 years ago and 4 years living in Spain. So I always come back to that, like, just be open to the possibilities and opportunities unknown. So the second module in Open to Possibilities is recognizing self-imposed limits. And that is identifying your stories that you tell yourself that narrows what you believe is possible. So it's kind of thinking, well, I can't do this because, like, if, for example, we didn't think we're stuck in not wanting to sell all of our businesses and our house and all of that kind of stuff, we would have said to ourselves, I don't think this is possible because we have way too many responsibilities. What are our employees going to do? What is, I don't think we're going to make it. How can we retire early? There were so many stories that we were telling ourselves that we had to get clear on. These are self-imposed limits. This is not fact. The last module is expanding possibility thinking. So practicing more than one path, more than one outcome and identity or a way forward. And you do that by practicing different things that are out of your normal routine. Even small things like making a different type of meal that you normally wouldn't do, or practicing going on a different route to work, like things that are in your control that allows your brain to notice change as something positive instead of something that it needs to be afraid of. The last one is willing courage. And that is what I'm sort of leading by example today. And that is basically thinking about understanding the difference between being ready and actually willing yourself to take action. Because there are so many people that are ready to do something, but they don't actually take the leap to do it. And nothing will ever happen by just thinking about it. So it's willing yourself, even when you're not ready, when you don't feel ready. Sometimes I personally struggle a little bit with perfectionism, and which is why it took me so long to launch this program. I just realized I'm not even doing the slides. Can you believe this, you guys? What is going on? I need to do this over as I'm talking about perfectionism. Like, how perfect is that? Jesus. Okay. We're going fast now. W. All right, there we are. And all this time, I could have been using these slides that I created. Well, here we are. Okay, so sometimes I struggle with perfectionism, as I was saying, and it puts me in this spiral of overthinking and never wanting to launch anything. And, at some point, it has to be perfect enough so that you can put it out there and start to refine and evolve and see what other people think. I think there's so many people that probably do that. Yes, perfectionism. How many of you that are tuned in are perfectionists or struggle with that? Yes, we're an energy portal. We both are, for sure. I think as empaths, it's hard. We feel all the feels. I can feel all the feels from you guys, and I'm just looking at your at the people joining. All right. So defining willingness, understanding the difference between readiness and willingness. And then designed aligned action. So create realistic next steps towards your goals. So through the mentorship, I will help guide you into creating some kind of actionable steps towards your goals, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming to look at the whole picture. And then it feels more achievable. The last module is going to be practicing micro bravery, which is going to be little baby steps that you actually have to take action towards. And that'll also be in the group experience. Let me go ahead and move on to the next slide. So what I'll be doing is on the 23rd, the group experience will launch. Up until this point, I've only been offering one-on-one mentoring, and I want to expand that to group sessions, because something that I really love is when there's a small group of like-minded individuals that all have the intention to grow. It can be so inspiring, and you can feel so like you're a community instead of it feeling like an isolating kind of experience. So some of your sort of feelings and thoughts might be very similar to other people's out there. And when you hear that other people have the same fears or whatever, it can really make you feel like you're not alone. And so that's what this whole group experience is about. We're all going to go through the 4 stages together. And this is going to be a completely free group experience, because I want to basically launch it to get feedback and to see what real life experiences that other people have can kind of help shape my mentor program. And so I think it's kind of exciting because it's the first time I'm doing it. I know that there's people out there that are looking for something different, and that's what I'm offering. I'm offering something that's very custom and personalized to you, and to help you feel seen and to encourage you to take these sort of next brave steps forward to live a life that is in alignment with who you are and what you value. And I think that that is something that's going to be a lot of value for you. So if you are interested in joining, I'm only going to have 4 people that can apply and be a part of this group experience. And it's going to be for 12 weeks. We'll meet every Sunday at 6 p.m. through Zoom. And will be 75 minutes for that whole week. The following week, you'll have an exercise that you can kind of focus on. And in the next Zoom call, we can all group together and kind of share your experience and what that was all about. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So one of the questions I did want to ask is, yes, it is 6 p.m. Spain time. So that would be Madrid time. That would be like, if you're in Denver, that would be like 10 o'clock. You guys can do the time conversion. What is one small courageous action that you know you could take next? And please update the chat. Yes, Jen, you want in. You want in too? Yes, please, you guys. I want Jen in and Lori in. Please apply online because it'll help me kind of like understand where you're coming from. 9 a.m. in Vegas, yes. 10 a.m. in Denver. So what is one small courageous action that you know you could take this week? Would that be applying for my grow group experience? I hope. So whoever is interested, just go onto my website. You can apply online, FelineWells.com. And I just want to mention again that although it is a group, everything will be completely confidential, and you can share whatever you want to. You don't have to share all the journal and reflection that you write down. Just share what you feel you want to. But I'm really looking forward to it. I know that this has been maybe like a little bit of a confusing first live. I promise my speech was really inspiring, but geez, this is what fear can do to you. Yes, go outside and move your body more. I personally believe that going outside and being in nature is such a game changer. Believe it or not, to prepare for this, I went out to the forest and wrote my speech and presented it to the trees out there. And they actually really liked it. So I was pretty proud of that. Anyways, this has been my first live session. I know that there will be more, and I'm excited for me to practice and see you guys hopefully at the next one, and to evolve in my journey on live and on YouTube and getting used to, I don't know, presenting, because I can't let this fear win. So I'm going to just keep on moving forward and letting my intuition speak and lead me. And I hope that all of you guys will do the same. Do the hard thing and grow. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing all of you in my program. I'm